Okay, so it's time to open up my SpotOn collar. I'm super excited. We're gonna try and get the SpotOn opened up, take a look at everything that's in the box, get it set up, register for my account, do all of the setup that's required, and then try and get my first fence set up by walking the perimeter of the property and getting all that set up. So if you're curious at all about a SpotOn dog collar, or if you've just got one, this is the video for you. Let's get started. All right, so let's see, inside the box here, let's dump this out. Here's your user manual. We'll go through all of the important stuff in that in maybe in another video, but we're gonna go through the essential setup. Here's your collar. On the top of the collar is your GPS receiver or chip. I'm not sure what the technical terminology is, but one of the cool things about this collar is that it has a separate GPS chip and a separate cellular chip, meaning those two things don't draw power or compete for any kind of processing ability. They're totally separate, which is maybe one of the reasons why this collar's marketed as one of the most accurate collars on the market. So here we've got the power button, and then underneath here, this is where we're going to screw the little prongs for the static correction. And then my guess is that right here is probably your battery. So you can tell already pulling it out of here, pretty heavy duty material. I might worry about this getting old, depending on what your usage is going to be like. Maybe this right here, I don't know. We'll see. Feels pretty strong. Pull this off. Whoo. In here, that's gonna be your charging cable. There's your charging block where it plugs in. Here's your charging cradle. The cradle is one of the things that makes this device, I think it increases the length of increases the life of the collar, and it also helps with the waterproofness. So the waterproofing, you'll notice that it's got the two little electrodes right here, and instead of actually plugging a cord into the collar and having an open port that then allows a place for water to get in, all you've got to do is set this into the cradle. And then the cord, the USB-C, actually plugs into the actual cradle itself. See if you can see that right there. It just helps with. You're seeing more and more of these kinds of collars, these kind of electronic collars. I noticed I just got a new electric collar from SportDog. Same thing. They've gone to a cradle type charging system and away from anything that plugs in to just help seal the unit a little bit better. So the last few things that we've got in here, we've got two different sizes of these prongs. So depending on the length of the hair of your dog, if you've got a big husky with big thick neck hair that goes around them, then you'll probably use one of these longer ones. If you're using a German short hair, you're probably going to use this. You'll use this shorter one. This is for the static. This is what provides the static correction. I know there's a lot of people that are opposed to this. The thing that I really like about the SpotOn collar is the fact that there are two levels of warning before the static correction is employed. So you get two auditory reminders as you're approaching the boundary. And if you'll take the time to train your dog well enough, those two auditory reminders will be enough to keep them in the boundary. So then the last thing you've got is we've got this little tester. These two outside ends will fit right over top of the probes or the prongs when they're in place. Whoa. Once you get them started by hand, you can then use the tester. The center tester piece will help you kind of get those snugged up, and that'll help keep the waterproofness of the collar, or the water resistance of the collar. Then all you do I don't know if you can see this. So then what you do is you take the outside and you just set those on here. As you're out walking around the GPS, once you have the fence set up, we should be able to test it and approach the fence with this. I don't have to wear it myself, but I can, and then you can check whether or not it's working. So there's everything that's in the box. Everything else, it looks like, is just empty. So I like to keep, I'm not really, we have tons of these kicking around the house with all the different cell phones we've got with the kids. And it's always nice to have an extra USB-C cable, but I like to keep my boxes. It just is a place to keep it. Another way to keep these, I like Ziploc bags. They're easy to kind of throw everything in and then throw them in the closet. But there's this. So let's get into the app. I'll show you the app and show you the setup. All right, so I'm going to try and set this up on my iPad. I'm hoping they have one for the iPad because I want to keep recording with my phone. So first thing I'm going to do is go download the SpotOn app and get registered. So I'm going to find the SpotOn GPS Fence. Then we'll log in, open our register an account. If you have a code for if you've bought a code for a cellular plan, you can enter that. I'm pretty sure in that app. Okay, let's open that up. We'll let it use Bluetooth. All right, so we've got everything here. Get ready. So this is going to have you set up and charge the collar. So I'll go do that really quick. Okay, so you know it's charging when you get that green blinking light, so we're good to go. The other thing I like about this cradle is with the notches for the static correction probes, there's no way to plug it in wrong, so you're not gonna mess up the collar. Okay, so back to the app. It says it'll take about 90 minutes to 2 hours to charge it, so I'm gonna go ahead and let that get going. Create an account, that's next. So I'm just going to come in here. So I'm going to choose allow while using the app. And I'm going to have to go through and redo all of this. I'm doing it on my iPad just so that I can keep recording with my phone. To be honest, I probably could have recorded with the iPad and reversed it, but I'm just going to end up redoing this on my phone because I don't want it on my iPad. My iPad doesn't have cellular service, and so if you're getting the cellular plan from SpotOn, which I encourage you to do that, you're going to want it set up on your phone, not on your iPad. So I'm going to set notification permissions. I'm doing this just as though I was setting it up on my phone. Let's get started. What color? So the dog that I've got, they don't really have his color, so we're just gonna say yellow, but Odin he's more of a white, so we're gonna say Odin. All right, I had to go get it off the charger. The caller ID, if you click the scan QR code, have it allow you, then you can take, let's see if you can get it. There we go. Nice thing about QR codes, you can get it right away just by scanning that in there. So then we're just going to tell a little bit about my dog. Labrador Retriever, male, date of birth, he was born April 6th, 2019. We'll add the dog. Okay, plan activation. We can go ahead and activate that right now. To do that, I'm going to go back to the email I got with this is the fastest way for me to find it. Let's see, activation for Odin cellular plan is in process. It usually takes 5 to 10 minutes. All right. Let's go ahead and continue, make sure that it's on. My collar is set up and connected. It's time to create your first fence. Walk the fence perimeter. Okay, now to do this, I'm gonna have to switch over and turn this off and go through the whole process on my phone. But I think what I'll do for now, I'm just gonna draw the boundary on my iPad. So we're just gonna set this up. To be fair, and when we actually start training, I'll actually go walk the perimeter and we'll do a video on that. But right now, I'm just going to draw it so that we can get this one set up. So looks like we're using Google Maps, and the only reason I know is because Google Maps is behind in updating. We actually have built a house right inside of right where that trailer is. We now have a house. I'm sitting right there. So let me zoom way out and you can kind of see what's around me. So we've got this little road coming across here. There's now a home right there in the middle of that green space. And then as you come across over here to the side, this is where all the sheep are. Okay, and there's also a few cows in there. On this side over here, so you see these trailers over here, my brother-in-law that foundation is now a fence as well, or is now a house as well, and he's got some corrals built back here, and here's where he keeps his cows. Back over here is where all the horses are. So let me zoom out and you can kind of get an idea again. You can see right there where my collar is, that's me. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit closer. Luckily on my property, it's pretty easy to follow boundary lines because my boundary line follows this ditch. So I'm just gonna set the fence to run right along the ditch. Now, if you want, you can do a circular fence, which this is nice because you can circular that, but I don't want to. I want to now, once I click that, I can change or add fence posts. I can also take them out. Let's get going. So I'm going to it will work better with this. No, it's not going to recognize my iPad. So there's one connection. If you're spot on and you're watching this, make it available for make it available for the Apple Pencil. Okay, so I'm going to take this over here. And what I'm doing is I'm just pushing and holding on a fence post, and that allows me to move it. If I double tap on the fence post, it's going to leave. It's going to delete it. So in this boundary line just basically goes straight back. Take this one back here now. You can pinch, just like everything else on the Apple devices, you can pinch for your control or pinch for zoom in or out. Oops, wrong one. Okay, that's all I'm doing. I'm going to go ahead and finish that. And this is just going to be titled House. Save the fence. Get ready to test it. So what we'll do is we'll walk out and I'll record this. We'll turn the collar on and I will move towards the edge of the fence. And then we'll be able to just hear, and I'll take the tester out with us, and you'll be able to see where it is that we're getting it done for, okay? Or